Hello everyone, hope you are well and having a great week in the market. I am back with another video. We have some drama going on and we have a giveaway winner to select. I said in my last video we were going to pick a lucky commenter for a 50K take profit trader. That is this video right here. And we are going to start off this one and get that done. Let me just grab the link for that video here and we are going to pick a random comment for a 50K take profit trader account. And our winner is And Justice for All. Love the name. As consumers, we have the power. Kelly does her best to recommend the most reputable firms. And if we choose not to give business to the less trustworthy ones, at least we can help steer the industry in the right direction. I appreciate the comment, And Justice for All. And I am a big believer of we are stronger as a community when we use our dollars as a group to both reward and punish prop firms that don't treat us right. That is how we are going to be successful and make sure we are treated fairly out in the market here. So thank you so much for the comment. I appreciate you guys all who leave me comments. I will be picking regular random folks for giveaways. All you have to do is leave a comment below and please hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you are not subscribed. Helps the channel grow and I really appreciate all you guys who do that. So, and Justice for All, I've got that 50K take profit account for you. You can either email me at futurestradingwithkellyann.com or if you're in the Discord, just open a ticket so we can get that to you as soon as possible. All right, so we got some big updates today. I'm going to talk about Apex. I'm going to talk about Topstep, but let's get started here with Apex. Now, as you guys know, Brian Stonks has been promoting that he is running up Apex accounts on silver. I talked about this in my last video. Patrick had made a mention that he's not even attempting to adhere to the rules at Apex. Recently, a trader was posting on X that they were having some issues getting their payouts. They posted this message: "We're reaching out regarding your trading activity on your account. You exceeded the max adverse excursion MAE threshold. The MAE rule is the most important risk management safeguard on Apex. This exists to help protect both your account and the long-term trading progress." So they said to help you stay on track and avoid unnecessary payout delays, the payout features on your account are temporarily unavailable for the next 8 trading days. During this time, you may continue trading as normal once the 8-day trading period has passed, and provided there are no additional rule violations and at least 5 trading days show a minimum profit of $50 per day, you'll be eligible to submit a payout request again. Because the current account balance includes profits generated during the rule-breaking activity, payout eligibility will be limited to profits earned after February 2nd, which is the date of this notice. The limitation will remain in place until you have successfully completed 2 approved payout requests at the minimum payout amount for your account size. And then they go on to talk about, their risk management. So that's one of the things about Apex. Yes, they are, an OG prop. A lot of traders like to trade there because you have an opportunity to potentially earn $1 million payouts. There have been a handful of folks who have done that, and I think that is what really attracts people to Apex. But they do have some strict guidelines on MAE, which is basically the max amount you can lose per trade. You can only go into the negative no more than 30%. So you have a 30% of your total drawdown, not your total account size. Limitation on your open trades, and if you violate it, they're going to put you on this and they are going to deduct that profit. So while Apex presents a really unique opportunity in the market, one of very few prop firms where you can legitimately earn $1 million payouts, the catch to that is there are strict rules you must follow. And it does seem to me that as long as you adhere to the rules that they set, they will pay. But unfortunately, if you break even one, which isn't really hard to do sometimes, that's what's going to happen. They don't kick you out. They are going to deny your payout and they are going to kind of reset you, but they're at least not kicking you out. I'm seeing, especially from firms like Topstep, they're kicking people out. So I wanted to let you guys know about that with Apex. Certainly a rule. You definitely need to be aware of the MAE and the consistency rules. But as long as you adhere to those rules, like I said, I think they pretty much pay you. Just be mindful of that. Like I said, it presents a great opportunity in some ways, but it's also difficult to get there. But as we know, Brian Stonks has been promoting all of his gains on silver. He's been notoriously quiet the last few days. I think Brian's interesting. He streams but doesn't show any of his actual trades. He gives you some glimpses of his P&L and his brokerage statements, But he is a partner at Apex, and he is running up all of these Apex accounts on silver, clearly with no mind towards the consistency requirements and potentially MAE. I'm not sure about that one, but I don't think he is meeting consistency. I did see on his stream on Tuesday, he did acknowledge that.
At this point, guys, if you guys are talking about ban, I think you're going to be eval banned regardless. I can't buy more evals.
He was doing this and not adhering to those rules, and that he would need to make at least $46,000 a day per account to meet the guidelines for that consistency requirement. Seemed to me that he's doing this but doesn't have any real expectation that he's going to get a payout. Kind of like a little bit of a stunt, but Apex came out with an email to their partners this week, and they've said, over the past years, we've grown bigger than they could imagine. Since 2021, along with our partners, we've built a firm that's genuinely changed lives. And despite my history with Apex, I will agree they have changed people's lives. They are proud of that, and they would not be where they are today without the support of their affiliate community. I agree with that as well. As we remain focused on one core objective, delivering a trader experience that is cleaner, fair, and built to last. They say behind the scenes they've been strengthening their monitoring and enforcement where it matters most. Beginning in December 2025, they implemented daily monitoring of key rules and began issuing proactive warning emails to traders that were consistently abusing those rules. And then this goes on to talk about new features and products. So Apex says here, despite these improvements, a small subset of traders continues to habitually violate core risk rules by churning and burning PA accounts, most notably through repeated 30% negative P&L violations and contract scaling violations. In many cases, these users knowingly and repeatedly break rules to artificially construct profit buffers and then continue trading until payout thresholds are reached. What is rarely disclosed publicly are the hundreds, and in some cases thousands, of deliberate violations used to manufacture those buffers. Recently, as you are aware, we halted trading in metals, futures instruments for two primary reasons: margin requirements and substantial abuse during recent volatility. Traders executed strategies that generated extreme MAE violations and aggressive scaling behavior in attempts to rapidly construct large profit buffers. This is a big one. I'm going to skip around here. In short, certain traders exploited structural differences in ways that were inconsistent with both the intent and the spirit of the program. This conduct is a direct violation of the prohibited activity section of the PA user agreement, which prohibits using company services in an abusive manner, attempting to exploit, game, or undermine the purpose of the program for personal benefit. The company may, at its sole discretion, impose corrective actions, including loss of unpaid rewards, repayment of previously distributed rewards, removal of simulated account profits, restriction of reward distributions, deletion of trading days, suspension of privileges, account termination, permanent bans from company services, limits on evaluations, restrictions on plans, trade size or position limits, safety net requirements, reporting to law enforcement authorities, and legal action where appropriate. We cannot allow exploitive behavior to persist, not as a matter of punishment, but as a matter of long-term sustainability. When structural differences are intentionally abused, it harms the broader ecosystem and the partners who help us grow it. Our relationship has always been a partnership. Enforcement actions occur, whether through account closure or balance adjustments. There will inevitably be noise across social media. Some of it will be disruptive, some of it will be inaccurate. What must be clearly understood is that these users have received repeated notifications of violations, explicit warnings outlining the consequences of continued breaches. In some cases, users receive 10 plus separate warnings. These are not isolated incidents. They are not single, random, or accidental breaches. They are repeated, deliberate actions taken with full awareness of the rules and consequences. This enforcement is not driven by recent gold or silver volatility. It began proactively addressing these violations via direct email communications in December, before the metals activity in question. So they're asking their partners to please discuss these updates on your live streams, share them with your communities, educate the traders on why they're doing this, and how they protect the long-term stability of the ecosystem. They're asking their partners to have their back. It only works if we operate as true partners. Habat. And then they go on to say habitual, intentional violators cannot be tolerated, not within the community or by them. And they go on to talk about how individuals repeatedly abuse the system, ignore warnings, and then attempt to distort the narrative publicly. So I'm going to revert back to Brian Stonks because I think this content here that they've sent out really kind of falls back to Brian. He's actively promoting a trading system where he's, full porting, it looks like, on silver to grow up a massive balance. I don't think he has any expectation that he's going to get paid. It sounds like he is aware that he's probably going to be eval banned.
You're going to be eval banned regardless. I can't buy more evals.
As a partner of a prop firm, to be out promoting things that are clearly in violation of the prop firm's rules and structures and desires is really inexplicable. I'll use that word. I think it's a gimmick. I think it's really just designed to gain attention as an influencer. And I think it's going to be unfortunate because he's encouraging all of these other traders to try to do the same thing. They're not influencers. They're not going to get paid affiliate commissions regardless of what they make in trading combines. They are going to be losing money on resets and losing their payouts. It is going to affect them. So I think that's really irresponsible. Now, you guys know I am certainly no Apex supporter, but I gotta, be fair here. I don't like the MAE rule. I wouldn't trade accounts with that type of rule set, but they are clear about it. They are consistent with it. Everybody who signs up at Apex understands that that is the rule they need to adhere to. I don't think people can come back later and complain about the payouts being denied because they violate the rule that's clearly explained to you. But for a partner to be out there promoting his conduct doing this, that also encourages other traders to do it. It's a real problem. I think this is probably a low-key way for Apex to address it collectively versus maybe individually. Although reading this, I'm wondering if they have sent Brian Stonks some individual emails. So yes, he's full porting sim accounts, calling it gains, talking about millions of dollars that he's made, but it's not really millions of dollars. It's not even obviously money he could possibly request a payout on. So it's been a whole gimmick. Sounds like a shit show. I wonder if there are a lot of traders trying to follow his path and this is causing a problem for Apex. But I'm going to say for this one, I'm going to take Team Apex on that. Brian Stonks shouldn't be doing that. Neither should any of the other influencers. Now, I do know another influencer who's been publicly awaiting $1 million payout. Hopefully he has adhered to all the rules. I believe he has. Really excited to see that. I love seeing traders getting paid, guys. That is my favorite thing in the whole Twitter space. Love to see it. All right, everyone. Topstep is back in the news again. I am tired of talking about those guys. But before I get into that, I want to tell you about February 10th. So February 10th, there was an issue with Tradeovate again. It caused me to enter into some random positions, big size, blew a lot of my prop accounts. Pretty much all of my funded accounts were blown, and I kept a couple alive, but it really put me on tilt. This was a big setback, and I also blew my personal Ninja Broker account this week. Now, I have gotten a lot of payouts in January and February. I'm still in the green overall for the month. This isn't catastrophic. I don't honestly even know why I'm letting it affect me so much, but it really did. I'm on that goal to get $1 million payout, and I felt like so positive about it because, I had all my funded accounts. They were all almost at the buffer. I was rocking and rolling, guys. But, this is a setback. I know a lot of people are frustrated about that issue on February 10th. I know I'm not alone out here, and hopefully that didn't set you guys on a bad tilt path like it did to me. I'm going to take a long weekend and regroup, come back on Tuesday with a fresh new personal account, and also, just work my way back to the goal. I made mistakes this week. After that happened, trying to recover some losses, I switched to minis, and that was not a good outcome. Something I know better than to do. Now, I really just trade micros on my personal, but I also tried to switch to minis on my personal this week. Wanted to see if I could scale up. It didn't work very well. Now, I wasn't affected on my personal account by the Tradeovate issues, but again, I just am in the mindset this week where I'm just feeling like pretty discouraged that, I was so much closer to my goal and now I have got to start all over. But I wanted to talk about these Tradeovate issues. They happen sometimes, and I know we get very frustrated with the props, and I think the props get very frustrated about it too, but my best guess here is those data feed connections for all of the traders are very expensive. And unless Tradeovate owns a widespread outage or issue that causes these resets to happen, I'm suspecting that, there is no cost consideration. And it's just not feasible for the props to be continuously resetting people unless Tradeovate acknowledges a larger outage and doesn't charge them. Now, I'm not 100% sure that's what's going on, but that is my best guess. I think I'm pretty right. All right, guys, let's talk about Topstep. They have really been in the news a lot. Very unfortunate situation over there. Kind of progressed over the last year. They went from that focused trader program where they put people on like some kind of apex type of probation. Then the whole X issue, X started to fail. They kicked all the partners out. I do think that Topstep, who owns Project X, really rooked in the prop firms to make Project X mainstream, and then kind of rug pulled the prop firms by kicking them out and making that preferred platform exclusive to Topstep. But there have just been so many platform issues that people are really tired of it, I think. And then there was that issue with hedging. They were denying traders, in February for a hedge that allegedly happened back in July or even November. They were denying those payouts and closing accounts. Twitter was going wild about that. Then they changed the end of day drawdown to end of day end trailing. I still don't really understand that. Although I see Michael Patak insisting that they don't have trailing drawdown on their accounts. I've also seen that the rules stated that they have end of day and trailing drawdown. So very confusing over there about whether the rules have changed. That really upset people. And like I said again, the continuous platform issues. And then they went and raised the prices. Again, Twitter went wild. But now they've made changes to the live program. People are very upset at this point. Topstep's, claim to fame was within 30 days of trading, you could earn your full payout potential. Now they seem to be moving people live, and they're only letting them take 20% of their balance. And here is their live funded account overview. The live funded account call-up is designed to help traders transition successfully from simulated performance to live trading through a performance-based capital release structure. When called to live, you begin with 20% of your eligible starting balance available for trading. The remaining balance becomes available as defined profit milestones are achieved. So they're starting you with 20% of whatever their max allocation for a live account is. And as you reach certain milestones, they'll release an additional 20%. Although this doesn't say 20%, I've seen some other materials that say, they're going to release increments of 20%. Additional balance access is released to you, again, as you hit those defined profit milestones. Payout eligibility is separate from capital expansion. So they made these changes to the live program, and nobody was happy about that. And here you see a graphic for their risk management. The path to reduction is designed to help protect your live account during periods of drawdown. If your account balance takes a large drop from its highest balance, our risk team will review performance and we may reach out with a shoulder tap. And then you see your drawdown here. They have risk intervention 30% to 100% and risk team review for drawdown in the 0 to 30%. Now we've seen before that they actively manage their live traders. If you're in a profitable position and your stop isn't tight enough, they're going to adjust it for you. And now they've, done this with their live programs. So there's been a lot of backlash again on Twitter, and Michael Patak has responded. He says you didn't earn anything in an XFA. It's not, I take that to mean it's not real money. It's a proving ground to see what you start with in live. Be a prop trader, grow your account, take payouts along the way. So he's not really backing down from that. You see AW Trades here was not happy, calling an XFA not earned doesn't sit right with her. Another person here is asking how they're getting payouts if they didn't earn anything. Even Lanto Trades here is saying this is getting out of hand. But the best comment here, I think, is a trader who really sums this up. We've already proved ourselves in XFAs. We don't need to prove ourselves again in live. And that's really how this is being viewed, that 20% increment, and you have to hit targets again. That's not freedom in a live account. And frankly, there are too many options out here. Lots of other options that don't put you through all of these hoops. I definitely, again, don't recommend Topstep. It's been like nothing but problems here, one after the other. So I think Topstep is really feeling the heat in the trading community. I don't know what they're going to do to try to recover goodwill in the trading community, but you can see on Trustpilot, right now they're sitting at a 3.4 star. Compared to my partner props, which are all obviously a lot better based on trader feedback, certainly. Now, I've talked about this before. I have left some partnerships in 2026. I just didn't feel like they aligned to my values. For whatever reason, I've left a few partners. I'm trying to really be a little more focused on who I think the best prop firms are. And as you see by my graphic here, I think Trustpilot agrees with me. You can see by the thousands and thousands of reviews for these prop firms that I'm sticking with. These are the best firms out there. And these are, all the firms that I'm trading with, and I really stick to that list for now. Now, at the end of 2025, I did a review on who I thought the biggest prop firms were, and I made a prediction about what would happen going into this year, and I appear to have been right. Here is a little diagram for you guys. I am tracking the traffic and engagement of the top prop firms. Here I've got Lucid at 2.8 million visitors in January. Topstep, 6.666 million visitors in January.
You make a deal with the devil. You follow devil's rules.
I don't know about that number, guys. I don't know. Take it for what you want, but that's their number. Take Profit Trader coming in strong, 7.903 million visitors. Now, I did tell you guys, I think Take Profit Trader, if not already, is going to be the biggest prop in 2026. They're affordable. Have fair rules, fast payouts. I mean, what more can you ask in a prop firm? They're certainly my favorite. I am always traded and Take Profit Trader. At this point, I'm trying to bank up extra past evals. I don't know if you guys know you can do that, but say you have 5 pro accounts and you want to pass another 5 evals for just in case we have a Trade-Evate Fritz day that blows all your accounts, you can immediately reactivate your banked accounts. And they don't charge you monthly for them. They just become static and they just sit there for when you need them. So I'm actually working on banking some extra past evals as well. So I have them ready to go just in case I need them. And they are still 40% off, no setup fee. Now is the time to do it. You can use my code Army Navy to get the best deal at all of my partner props. I included Apex Trader funding in this one. You can see they're at 4.179 million. Still a strong contender. They are beating Tradeify here with 2.462 million visitors in the month of January. Now, last month, Tradeify was beating Lucid a little bit, but as I predicted, Lucid has overcome the lead Tradeify has, and it looks like Lucid has grown larger than Tradeify, who is at least a year older. I think people love Lucid. We love AJ. We love the accounts. I mean, they're super affordable. They pay freakishly fast. I mean, like seconds from request to in your bank. It's crazy. This is our up-and-comer right here. Another comparison I did was I removed Tradeify and I put Fund It Next in. And as you see, Fund It Next has 7.517 million visitors in the month of January. So they also have fallen a little bit behind Take Profit Trader. Also a really great prop, one of my favorites. I'm always trading Fund It Next, Lucid, and Take Profit Trader. I mean, those are my go-to 3. If I had to pick 3 top props, those would be it. All right, everyone. That about wraps up this video. Don't forget, leave a comment below. I have a 50K Lucid Flex account. I'm going to pick a commenter on Friday, just like we did today for my last video. So don't forget to leave a comment, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great week. Bye.